Cruise ships continue to experience lots of fights flowing over into the year 2025. However, here's the solutions on how to cut down fighting on cruise ships by 90%.
Ever since the pandemic, there's been a rise in people hopping on cruise ships, especially Carnival Cruises. And because Carnival is especially affordable, you already know what kind of crowd that's going to attract. Now, for context, when I say affordable, I mean cheap. A family of 4 can take a cruise on the Carnival for as little as $1,000 to $1,200 total. That's lodging, food, and all you can eat drink foolishness on the open sea. It's practically a stimulus check vacation, and you could tell by the behavior on board. To put this in perspective, Carnival Cruises are basically the Spirit airline of the ocean. And we all know how dysfunctional people act on Spirit, specifically Black people. It's always the same crowd, the same mindset, which leads to the same outcome. The only difference is now it's floating. So because these cruises are so cheap and they pack thousands of people on board with discount prices, what type of behavior do you think you're going to get? And to be honest, I really do feel bad for the white families that are on these ships because I know it's not them behaving like this. I know Carnival was probably trying to attract Black and white families who couldn't afford the luxury cruise line, so they tried to market to lower income families. But anytime you try to help lower income Americans, that includes lower income Black people, which unfortunately means you also have to deal with lower income Black behavior. And let's be honest, it's not attracting peaceful families looking for ocean views and quiet getaways. It's attracting the exact opposite. Black people who treat the ship and the deck like it is a backyard cookout. And you know what? A lot of people probably do go on these cruises just trying to have fun, and that's fine. However, the problem is alcohol, and more importantly, a complete lack of self-control. People don't know how to drink like adults. They don't know how to act in public, and they don't have any regard for anyone around them. The screaming, the fighting, the twerking next to toddlers is not just embarrassing. It is dangerous. You're in the middle of the ocean and you're turning the boat into a circus. You're disrupting other people who pay their money to be there. It is absolutely disgusting. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am Carmen Jaycee. Make sure you guys hit the like button and let's get into this hot ghetto mess. Let's get into it. Like I said earlier, Carnival Cruise is basically Spirit Airlines on water. And when you price your tickets that low, you're not just opening the door for budgeted travelers, you're inviting dysfunction. Cheap cruises equal cheap behavior, period. Let's stop pretending like we don't see what's happening. The truth is, too many people in the Black community don't know how to behave in large groups. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that just to be politically correct. We can say it's the system, we can blame poverty, we can throw every excuse in the book at it. However, at the end of the day, it's behavior. And behavior is a choice. Because let's be honest, when it's a holiday weekend, a block party, or a family function in a Black community, there's always a chance somebody getting shot, jumped, arrested. There's going to be some type of trauma. And that's not me hating on Black people. That's me telling it how it is. So I'm not surprised when the same behavior shows up at the airport, the cruise terminal, or at Walmart, because this is what happens every day in the Black community. When dysfunction gets normalized, it follows you, and even on vacation. In fact, let's take it a step further. As soon as something becomes trendy with Black folks, it turns into a disaster. I don't care if it's Lululemon or Carnival Cruises. The moment it gets hot in the culture, Houston, we have a problem. But here's the hard truth. It's not just Black people as a whole. It is a certain group of people within the culture who consistently ruin everything they touch. They bring chaos, they bring drama, and then they cry victim when it all falls apart. Now I want to show you a brawl that broke out at the Atlanta airport on Spirit Airlines terminal back in February of this year. And listen, I'm not saying that these are the same people who are showing up at the acting wild on the Carnival Cruises, but let's just say they're cousins. Now, the reason for this brawl is unclear, and not surprisingly, nobody was apprehended. But what's being said is that someone cut someone in line, or they said something slick, and two different groups of people, Black people, started going at it. Next thing you know, we have complete chaos. Let's go ahead and take a look at the clip. Take a listen. This behavior is absolutely disgusting, but still not shocking, because this is what happens when there's no self-respect, no impulse control, and no accountability. This is learned behavior, not to mention this is culturally tolerated behavior, and it shows. And before anyone jumps in my comments with the same tired excuse, this happens in every community, no, it doesn't. Not like this, not at this volume, not at this frequency, and definitely not with this level of public shame on display. We've allowed dysfunction to become culture, and now we can't even enjoy a vacation without it turning into a boxing ring. Nonetheless, when you sell cheap tickets, you get cheap results. Spirit Airlines have cheap tickets, and you see the dysfunction happening around their airlines all the time. And now it's Carnival experiencing the exact same thing. That's what happened when you go for quantity over quality. You get a boat full of dysfunctional clearance rack behavior. Let's take a look at this clip from Galveston. It's literally the same culprits, same behavior, no valid reason in sight, but we'll go ahead and take a look at it anyways. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
24 people are now banned from sailing with Carnival Cruise Line after getting into a fight. The video from Saturday appears to show a group of people, you see them here, shoving each other while disembarking a ship inside of a terminal in Galveston. You can see people being pushed to the ground. In a statement to NBC News, Carnival says this happened in an area under the authority of U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and has been turned over to law enforcement.
And just like the previous clip, they have no shame that children are around. They don't care who's watching. They don't care that it's a cruise terminal. They don't care that people spent their hard-earned money to go on vacation. All they care about is getting whoever said the wrong thing right then and there. And that right there explains exactly why the prisons are filled with black men. Because when you act on emotion and no discipline, no foresight, it's only a matter of time before the police, the judge, or the coroner gets involved. And if you still think this is just a one-off isolated incident, let me show you one more example. The next one took place on the Carnival Sunrise out in the Bahamas. Another cruise, another group of people with no self-control, another vacation ruined because people don't know how to act or flat out refuse to behave properly. Let's go ahead and take a look. Once again, it's embarrassing. The same script, different setting, and the only thing that's consistent is the behavior. Oh, and the group of people that are actually indulgent in this. And the fact that the black community doesn't just tolerate it, it actually defends it, is exactly why our community is in steep decline. So with the rise of crime and people going on cruise ships, the FBI now has to investigate cruise ship crime weekly. That's where we're at. The violence, the brawls, the chaos. It got so bad, federal agents are now monitoring cruise ships on a regular basis. Let's take a listen to what the FBI had to say, because when law enforcement has to babysit a vacation boat, that's a reflection of how the culture have fallen. Let's take a listen.
Since the pandemic, cruise travel out of Galveston has dramatically increased. Data from the port shows the last 2 years have been the busiest on record, with this year expected to be even busier as a fourth terminal opens.
As they're floating cities.
Might seem like there's no rules.
If something happens that's illegal, you're going to meet the FBI at your port when you get back.
Senior Supervisory Resident Agent Don Gay leads the FBI's Texas City office, now with a dedicated special agent focused on cruise crimes.
Most often we see an overindulgence of alcohol on the ships.
He estimates that's a factor 80% of the time, leading to federal criminal investigations most often for sexual assault and assaults that cause serious injury. The FBI also looks into suspicious deaths on board, missing persons, and high-value thefts, all with time being critical.
Very small.
So because of all this, Carnival has completely changed the way it operates. They've rewritten their guest conduct policies, restricted alcohol, and changed how their rewards program works. But the most noticeable shift is in the atmosphere. Now, to be clear, Carnival never said that they banned rap music. What they did do was ban Bluetooth speakers so people can't just blast whatever they want. And instead of rowdy anything go club nights, they've started creating more theme nights, like, maybe like country night or whatever. More control for less chaos. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they did stop playing rap music, because let's be real, black people do not know how to act when it comes on. The volume goes up, the attitudes shift, and fighting just follows. That is not racism. That is a reality. This is not about race. This is about behavior, because when a white couple admitted on TikTok that they smuggled alcohol on board, I am not kidding, Carnival banned them for life. They weren't caught. They just said it, and that was enough. So no, this isn't a discrimination. The rules apply to everyone. The difference is the behavior that keeps forcing these policy changes is coming from the Black community on these ships. And instead of holding accountability for that, we defend it. That's the real embarrassment. This is what happens when we don't take care of good things. We take something that used to mean luxury and escape and let dysfunction drag it through the mud. And honestly, I'm starting to think that these aren't just random incidents. I'm starting to think that this looks like a pattern, because the same energy you see on Carnival cruise ships, you see on Spirit Airlines, you see at Walmart, is the same behavior, because Target would never, okay? United Airlines, Southwest would never. This is what happens when you invite budgeted travelers, because that is going to, unfortunately, include Black people. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But moving along. So if you guys know me by now, you already know what my solution to this problem is. But instead of hearing it from me first, I want you to take a listen to this TikToker, because he's about to say exactly what I've been saying, just a little more carefully. Take a listen.
Cruise ships continue to experience lots of fights flowing over into the year 2025. However, here's the solutions on how to cut down fighting on cruise ships by 90%. I guarantee you that. Number 1. Ban all hip-hop music on cruise ships. You do that, you're going to cut back fighting on cruise ships. Number 2, we got to ban all Hennessy on cruise ships. Take all that Hennessy inventory and throw it over into the sharks. Number 3, we got to ban all fried chicken on cruise ships. You get rid of fried chicken on cruise ships, the people that's doing all the fighting, they're not going to want to come on there anyway. And finally, number 4, you got to do this. Ban all hunching between midnight and 9 a.m. You do that, you ain't going to see no more fights really on cruise ships.
So translation, what he's saying is, if you want to have a good cruise and enjoy yourself on your cruise and have good clients or customers, do not invite Black people. Better yet, raise the ticket prices so high that the ones who can't behave simply can't afford it. Maybe then people will think twice before turning a luxury cruise into a hood day party, because this behavior is absolutely disgusting. It is absolutely embarrassing. And quite frankly, it makes me understand why some white people do not want to live around us or be around us. And at this point, I'm not even mad at them, because when you tolerate dysfunction, you invite chaos, and nobody wants to be surrounded by chaos on vacation. So, hey, if that's where we're at, then thank you. Thank you to all the unhinged clowns out there that wants to ruin everything for the rest of us, making everything not fun. You guys are pathetic. And quite frankly, it's not even just Black people. It is liberals in general. Liberals just are super crazy. The behavior that they display is disgusting. I know that this was not a conservative cruise, or a cruise full of conservatives, should I say. They are the ones who behave like idiots, okay? Not a single person on this boat was conservative. And if they were, they hated their lives. Sorry. At this point, it is not just embarrassing. It is absolutely pathetic. We took a floating paradise and turned it into a hood day party. And now, instead of accountability, we've got people defending it like it's normal. Newsflash, it is not. It is disgusting. It is dysfunctional. And quite frankly, it is dragging all of us down. Okay? It is driving the imagery of the Black community, like how people view the Black community is down. Okay? Y'all ruined Spirit Airlines. Y'all ruined Walmart. And now you're working your way through Carnival Cruise. What is next? Whole Foods? Are you going to go ruin that too? You're going to come to Trader Joe's? This is what happened when there's no shame in the community. And then you wonder why nobody takes us serious, or why nobody wants to be around us, or why people are in fact racist, why I might be a little racist towards Black people. And y'all try to blame it like, oh, it's just fun. Oh, it's just music. But when the music stops, the damage is still there. So go ahead, keep making excuses, keep calling this culture, but just know every time you show out like this, you are proving the stereotypes right, not wrong, okay? And me personally, I believe stereotypes are there for a reason, because a certain group of people are acting a certain type of way. And once again, this is not a Black issue. This is an American issue, because the issue don't just affect the Black community, it affects all community. The behavior spills over into other communities, and it's time we stop pretending like it doesn't. I am Carmen Jaycee, and if you got something from this video, make sure you like and subscribe so we can push it out to more people. I love you guys so much. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to Mark Dice. I love you. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.
Conscious culture, we awaken and we learn. Fire in our spirits, watch the system as it burns. Question every lesson, let the real truth return. We break the mold, and now it's our turn.